Hey, what is up everyone? Hope you're all having a wonderful time. Here a quick guide for the Exploding Totem Druid in last Epoch. The Exploding Totem Druid is a unique build that has a really fun playstyle, running around blowing enemies up by making our totem explode. It has some really cool mechanics built around it. We are using the Revenue Splinter passive node from the Upheaval tree to get the skill Shatter Totem, which scales from spell and physical damage. The build is using 2 ornated idols to give us a chance to summon Thorn's totem on hit. We're using the Thorn totem skill tree to make us always spawn our maximum totems at once we do spawn them. And once they are up, we can trigger them by simply using the Upheaval skill on them, and this we gain from being in the Werebear Form, and we'll use the Upheaval skill every time we use the Maul ability from the Werebear. We get some other abilities as well, such as Swipe, Roar and Rampage, and those all work as a hit ability that will help out the build of spawning the totems for us also. You can also use the Maul attack before the totem spawns as well, as the hit from the Maul can trigger the summoned totems, and right after that they will get hit by the Upheaval shockwave. That will then trigger the explosives by the totems. As I just mentioned, the Shadow Totems are a spell, so to scale its damage we also have to get some spell damage. And by being in the Werebear, we get access to the Vice and Claw node in the Werebear tree that will give us spell damage per strength. With some min-maxing, you can get to 150 strength with this build, which is equal to more spell damage than the best staff in the game. And not only do we get tons of damage from that, but we also get a huge amount of armor, as each point of strength provides 5% armor. The build also has some other defensive perks such as High Life, Leech, Damage Reduction and also heals from Healing Totem. The build gets some really great boosts to base crit from both items and skills, making it so we pretty much always deal critical strikes and then can take full advantage of the critical strike multiplier for damage. The build can be a bit frustrating sometimes, as we need the totems to be up to deal damage, and by having 2 ornate idols we have up to 20% chance to spawn them on hit. And this makes it so the build really shine clearing monoliths, but can be struggling on some bosses. TLDR, more monsters, higher chance for the totems to spawn. Some pros: fun playstyle, satisfying to see everything just blowing up, get some great clear speed, tanky build, no uniques required, and also it's pretty fast build. For some cons, I would say the single target, as just mentioned. Even though damage is pretty high, it relies on the totems being up. And you also need to have the idols for this build to work, and I would recommend at least a total of 15% from both of those idols. For the uniques, there are none that are required for this build. However, if you like to sacrifice half of your damage, you can go for a Bastion of Honor to make your character more tankier. The shield basically makes it so you always block against enemies within 4 meters of you. And the shield is one of the best items in the game at the moment, but do keep in mind that it is a very rare one to obtain. You also get some health gain on block, melee physical damage and health and mana. If you are going with the shield, just remember to respec out of Harmony of Blades from the passive skill tree. As the build don't have any uniques, I figure I go over some of the more noticeable items for the build instead. For weapons, we're using a Rune Dagger for its base for crit chance and spell damage. Critical strike multiplier is a huge damage boost for us here as well. For the offhand, we're using a Katana as a base for the critical strike multiplier. As it is a sword, we can also get additional spell damage here, which is helping out the build even further. For survivability, either the Ancestor Crown Helm or the Living Seed Relic for their implicit damage leached as health on hit. I would recommend having one of these at least, but ideal you want to go for both of them. Golden Recovery is a huge part of this build, as it will make it so we can use our Maul ability more frequently. And this makes it so we can trigger our totems faster for the explosions. Having 2 opal rings help out a bit by that, and also providing plus to all attributes for even more strength. You can also have more CDR on your boots, belts, and you could also go for a class specific on your helm. For the stats for this build, try to go for health, resist, critical strike avoidance for the cap, increased cooldown recovery speed, strength, critical strike multiplier and critical strike chance, increased spell and physical damage, increased melee attack speed, and chance to shred armor on hit. And for the class specific stat, try to go for critical strike multiplier while transformed. For the idols, you want to go for 2 ornate idols with chance on hit to summon a Thorn totem with some increased physical damage. We also want 2 grand idols with increased spell damage while transformed with also increased physical damage. For the blessings, some of the more noticeable ones is going to be from the Black Sun, and here you can go for the critical strike multiplier, ending the storm for increased health regen, or you can also go for flat mana here as it also will increase your rage. Reign of Dragon, you can get up to 20% to all resistance, or you can also go for critical strike avoidance for some easy cap. The Age of Winter for chance to shred physical resist on hit, and Spirit of Fire for the flat armor as it will increase a lot from all of the strength we have. And let's go over quickly the most important nodes for the skills, starting with Werebear Form. So in this build we are using the Werebear Form to transfer us into a bear, and this will provide some different stuff including 4 new abilities. Here we're using Rampage as our mobility skill, Maul is used to trigger the explosion of our totems, we have Roar which works as our Warcry, and Swipe is used as our second damage ability to trigger the totems. First, Tremor Slam will make it so after we use Maul, we now use Upheaval towards the target. And this will also make it so everything we take from the Upheaval passive tree will apply to this skill as well. Vice and Claw will make it so we get spell damage per strength. Insatiable makes it so we get some base crit chance for Maul and Rampage, but we also get the global increased crit chance here by 200%. Dauntless makes it so we get additional move speed while we are rampaging, some increased stun chance and also stun duration. Intimidating Cry make it after we have used Rampage, we also use the ability Roar, which is the Warcry. Invigoration, so we can get some health and also rage when we are hitting a rare or a boss. Next up is the summon Thorn totem, and this is going to be the ones that we are going to detonate. Force Expanse for the increase to maximum Thorn totems. Grow Mind make it so when we are triggering the totems, they will spawn all at once. Oaken Protection, just so our totem gets some additional health. And Shred Armor makes so the totem have a chance to apply some armor shred stacks here before they explode. Upheaval will be the skill that are cast after we use our ability Maul from Werebear Form, and also be the ability that will trigger the explosions on the totems. Revenating Splinter is the passive that will make this whole build work. This will make it so when Upheaval and the Shockwave hit a totem, the totem will now shatter, dealing spell, physical damage, and it will also heal you if you have some attunement. Excavating Blow makes it now so Upheaval will travel in 3 fault lines, and Erupting Earth will increase this to 5 lines instead. Earthbreaker for some more damage for the Upheaval skill, Glacial Cascade for the physical penetration, Unstoppable Strength for just some more damage multiplier to the skill. We're using Swipe as a filler skill and also to apply us the Aspect of the Panther. The Aspect of Panther will apply buffs to our character to buff ourselves with some different stuff. First here we get some global damage here per stack. Feline Hunter will provide us with the global attack and cast speed. Saber-Tooth's Endurance for a longer aspect duration and also increased health regen. And the biggest one, Twin Fanged, will give us global critical multiplier per stack. And this is also being doubled as we are dual wielding. Warcry is the last one that we are using, which is replaced by the Roar skill from the Werebear Form. Shallow Breath, just so we get our cooldown reduction here, 50%. Bringer of Winter will increase the critical strike chance here by 100%. Battle Cry for some additional increased critical strike chance. Ferocity makes it so while Warcry is on cooldown, your critical strike have a small chance to use Warcry. Juggernaut makes us invulnerable after we have used Warcry. Breath of the Terra for some healing, and Pershing Shout just to cleanse our elements on us when we are using Warcry. And here a quick preview of the passive skill tree, but for more information about the build, I do recommend to go and check out last Epoch build planner. Both for the passives and the skills, you can simply use the progression bar at the bottom to easily see when and where to progress in the build. To the left of the build planner, you can also get a basic loot filter of the build that will highlight all you need to get for both leveling and for the endgame. Link for this will be in the description. So what do you think about the exploding Totem Druid? Have you tried it out before or tried another version of it? Feel free to tell me in the comments below. Thanks for watching, don't forget to like and subscribe if you found this video helpful. And with that said, I'll see you in the next one. Bye!